everyone, it's Tanny Games here. Welcome back to the channel. We're here to go over the latest event in Infinity Nikki. So I'm going to show you kind of like the process of my day, me playing through the event and things like that. Just so you can see kind of the routine I took, and obviously if you're curious about any of the events, if you're struggling a bit with what you're meant to do, you can use this as a bit of a guide. So naturally the first thing I did when I logged in was checked my dailies. Of course I had to do that. I had to see what I had, what I could claim and things like that. And then I opened up the events tab just to take a look at what was kind of scheduled for the event, what kind of tasks I'd have to do and things like that. So you can see there's a lot of things that are unlocked and I'm just pressing buttons here uselessly. Then we also have the fix the flicker one. Now that's a bit of an interesting task because you need to log in like every 2 days or something for that. Obviously I claim my daily login reward. Make sure you claim your daily login rewards. It's definitely worth doing. Obviously I took a look at the banners, you know, I checked out the outfits. I love the coat on this froggy fashion. At the end I do some pulls, just a few of them. Sadly I didn't get the coat, which I think is a shame, or the umbrella, the two things that I wanted, and I didn't get them sadly. But such is life, such is the way it goes. I don't want to spend a lot of time wasting my diamonds on these outfits, because as much as I love these, I'm trying to stockpile and save. Unfortunately I'm not the type of person that can afford every single item. You know, I'm not like bigger creators that earn a lot of revenue or, you know, things like that, and I'm not generally a rich person to be able to afford a lot of this stuff. So I do, for the most part, play as close to free to play as possible. Obviously I have bought a few things, but I can't invest all the money. So yeah, I took a look at the banners. I wanted to check them out. Now an interesting thing is there is a video that you can watch. It's for like the Companions Day trailer, but actually you don't have to watch the whole thing, but it gives you like 10,000 bling. So if you haven't watched that trailer, watch it, because you watch it twice and you've got 20,000. You watch it for both of the banners, and yeah, it's a great way to get a bit of extra money in. One thing I will note, you do get some limited time crystals, so that's why I did do some pulls, because I don't want to waste those limited time crystals. So that's why there are a couple of pulls at the end, because you know, I might as well spend those. But because of my preference to pull in batches of 10 rather than individuals, because when I was pulling individually the other day, I was getting nothing at all. I did like 10 individual pulls and didn't get a single thing. So yeah, when that happened, I was like, that's it, I'm never doing this again individually. I'm doing it in batches, because if I've gone over 10 individually and not got a single item, this is bugged. I just wasn't happy. So I always pull in batches of 10, so I do put some of my own diamonds towards that, I guess you could say. Obviously I went to check out the other items, have a look at them. The new outfits that have come are absolutely gorgeous. I love the vintage style one, the detail of the train on the bottom, the kind of like the maps on the luggage and on the hat. It's just gorgeous. I actually really like the other one, the kind of like edgier one. I forget what it's called, but it's got this like checker pattern, almost, you know, kind of like a transparent PNG background kind of thing. That doesn't make sense saying a background, because in theory it doesn't have one, but yeah, it's kind of got that effect. It's very cool, very kind of like alternative, which I like. Then we have the third outfit, which is cute. The problem is I don't like the hat or the hair on it. And as much as I'm meant to wear glasses, I tend not to put glasses on my characters. So I think even though this is only 60 stellarite, it's going to be a pass. I do wonder, after seeing that come in at 60, whether this is going to be a common pattern that we see, that each time they do this kind of refresh of the store, that we will get a 60 stellarite, a discounted at minus 80%. I do wonder if that's just going to be the standard. Obviously, I haven't played like a gacha game like this. I say I haven't. I have technically played Genshin, but not for very long. I did not play Genshin for very long, and most of my knowledge of Genshin comes from my sister. So yeah, I don't know if that's something that usually happens in these kind of games, but yeah, I do think there's always going to be an outfit that is reduced, and I wonder if it's technically an actually reduced outfit or if it's just like their cheaper price one. I don't know. But yeah, we went to explore the event and start doing some of the tasks. It was very cool to see. It's a lovely little setup and layout here. It's kind of nice to change up the environment a little bit. You've got all the people hanging around and, you know, admiring the little companions and stuff. I scared a little kitty there. I did also see some investigation things. I do think these are new. I think they're tied to the event. But I'm willing to be corrected if I'm wrong. But I thought it'd be odd that I hadn't actually seen those and interacted with them. Yeah, this one talks about the actual Brave Floof, so it's got to be a kind of like temporary information thing you can interact with. I do obviously leave it so that hopefully you can read this if you want to read through any of it. Obviously you can read through it in your own game, but I made sure I read it and tried not to scroll too fast. Tried to leave enough time so that if anyone did want to read along they could do. And then after reading this, we pretty much get set on our first task for the event, which actually all these tasks were all really, really fun. They're just small little tasks. They're very quick and easy to do. I've cut out a little bit of, you know, times when I was like taking a sip of water or things like that. So I have cut the footage a bit, but pretty much what you're going to see is how long I spent on the event. Like the footage isn't sped up or anything like that. So the length of this video is really how long the event is. So you can sort of do it in a day. It's not anything that you're gonna have to grind out for like a lot of other events. So we do meet Elia, I don't know how you say that. We end up having to fix a lamppost, so you do need the electrician's outfit if you haven't unlocked it. But unlocking the electrician's outfit is very, very early game, so it's not like it's something you have to grind for or anything like that. It is something that you can do quite easily. So even if you're new to the game, if you haven't yet picked it up, if you've been waiting to pick it up and things like that, you'll actually be able to kind of jump into this and very quickly get to doing this event stuff. You won't be held back or anything like that. But yeah, she talks about Companions Day, how we need to prep for it, otherwise the celebration's going to be ruined and it's dangerous because the light posts are out, so we need to fix it. Oh, we have to get some materials first of all. Sorry, I forgot that. We have to get the seed pearls. Tell a lie. We have to get those first of all, which I had those to hand. They're pretty easily available as well. So I pretty much just handed those straight over, and then we get the alert about the lamppost being broken and stuff like that. With this chap Ilgene or Legine. I don't know if that's an I or an L. I suppose it has to be an I. Igene or Igene. I'm so bad at pronouncing names, I never know. But yeah, she has a bit of a panic and stuff like that. But we, of course, are there to save the day and make sure everything goes to plan. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a minute to realise where I had to go to actually get this lamppost fixed. I ended up running off in the wrong direction, and yeah, I do end up going the correct way eventually, but I did run off the wrong way temporarily. because I didn't really realise where I was meant to go. I knew it was nearby, but I was getting kind of a little bit lost. And obviously with all the notifications on the screen for the different events, it was kind of like throwing me as to where I had to go. But you have to run down this road towards the mayor's residence, and there'll be a light post if you just keep walking past the mayor's residence, and that will be the one that you have to fix. As it turned out, there was a lamppost in the area that I hadn't fixed before, and I ended up fixing that. So, yeah, just be aware, you might fix a lamppost and it doesn't finish the task. It's most likely because of the fact that, yeah, you effectively, you have to get the right lamppost. You have to get the right lamppost. So after doing that, Miss Aaliyah comes by and we have a little bit of a conversation. She thanks us for our help and stuff like that, and then she sets us ahead with effectively another task. We do learn that Aaliyah has her own little shirt cat, which is super cute. I absolutely love that. Obviously, big cat fan here, so I think it's adorable. I love all the little like cats in this game. I think it's so cute. So yeah, she tells us to fix any other street lights, and she does give us a reward, and then tells us to attend Companions Day. So don't forget, even if you think this task is done, it sort of is, but make sure to go back and interact with Aaliyah, because she does give you another task to do. So yeah, it's not 100% finished at that point. Then we start heading back to where the Companions Day event is being held. Of course, I had to quickly gather my little resources here. Sometimes you can't help yourself, but I actually stopped to talk to Toran, who has lost his little Fluffy, and then we have to go on an adventure to find Fluffy. So we're basically advised to go to the Bibcoon Chuckle Club and talk to Vino. So we head that way to go talk to him. As we do approach the area, I do end up spotting another lamppost that can be fixed. So I do end up fixing that actually. It seems like there's a guy nearby who talks about the streetlight going out, and he actually ends up talking to us afterwards, but I was a bit surprised because I didn't even realise he was talking to us to begin with. And when he eventually was just like, oh, you fixed this street lamp, here you go, I was like, where did you come from, my friend? Like, who are you? And then we head inside the Chuckle Club and we go down to talk to Vino. He basically fills us in on him seeing the floof and the direction that he headed in, or at least he talks about photographers, and we have to go talk to a photographer, I think. Yeah, he helps us anyway in the next part. So after talking to him, I did realise eventually that there was actually another investigation thing on the bar. I don't know if that was always there and I never noticed it before. It read kind of like a Bridgerton Lady Whistledown article. I was like, ooh, the drama, the drama. So obviously feel free to read that if you do want to. You can go ahead and give that a bit of a read if you want, or read it for yourself in your own game. But it was quite a fun, interesting read. And naturally, as soon as I came out, I was completely lost and didn't actually know where I was going and where Flora Wish Lane was. That always happens. So, yeah, I did get a bit confused. Eventually, we figure out where we're going and we follow the path down towards Flora Wish Lane. Just in case you're curious, you can see me. Then I run past the Socko and I hate myself because I always run past those Sockos and I never catch them, and I think I need to catch them. I need to catch them. So I was a bit gutted about that because I was like, oh, I could have caught that. I need that. I need that. Anyway, we end up talking to Genoa and she tells us a bit more about the day, and we ask her about the photos and if she's managed to see the fluffy floof, and then eventually she shows us a photo and we do have to spot him in the photo. Now, I was a bit confused when I first saw the photo because I was like, this has to be a red herring because it was so obvious that the dog was in the middle. And I was kind of like, okay, well, that's clearly not him. There must be another one. And then I was like, well, there isn't one. And so I clicked on it thinking it was going to come up as wrong, but no, it was right. So it is very obvious. They make it very, very easy, which personally I think is quite nice, because it does make it a lot more accessible to players. Like, especially if you struggle with, like, if you have sight issues, like myself, you know, I struggle to see without my glasses, so I imagine there's other people, especially if you struggle with colour blindness as well, you might not be able to discern the colours, so it's nice that they make it quite easy, rather than a really challenging one, which is good. And then we approach Fluffy. Fluffy tells us a bit of stuff. He wants to get his owner, Toran something, and I was like, shiny and small, and I was like, okay, then maybe it's a bling. Apparently it wasn't a bling. Apparently I was wrong there, and I was a bit surprised. He wanted the pearl wings, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, aren't the pearl wings like a not a daddy long legs, like a dragonfly? And I was like, why is he giving his owner that? I was like, as an owner, I would prefer the blings. Luckily, Momo knows us well, but that's for later anyway. And I did notice when I was sat here, I noticed the kind of like the fish in the water, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I was like, that fish isn't usually there, is it? So I do spend a bit of time just staring at the fish, because I was quite excited to see it. I was kind of not expecting to see it, and like, as I said, I just had to weigh up like, was this always here? Have I always missed this? But it was kind of cool to see, and it blows the bubbles. So I think definitely if you get the kind of like the Marilyn Monroe inspired kind of outfit, it'd be fun to do photo opportunities near this fish. I think it'd be quite cool because this fish does blow bubbles, so you can see it here. It jumps out the water and blows some bubbles, so I bet you could get some really nice photos. One of my favorite things to do in this game is just find somewhere pretty and take a bunch of photos. It's my hobby. it's my cozy game hobby. You know, I can't be a photographer in real life, but I'll be a photographer in game. Like, that's more my jam, that's more my speed. But yeah, eventually we have to basically go back to Toran and basically interact with him and say, hey, we found your floof and here's your floof and things like that. But I do end up making a stop and talking to, I think I talked to Alea first of all, before talking to Toran, I think. Oh, I listen to the guy on the bench. That's what I do. So I do listen to him and just explore this little area before heading down to Toran. So yeah, I do kind of take in the atmosphere a little bit more. Oh yeah, and then I talked to Alea because I seen she had a thing above her head, and I was like, oh wait, she's got this other quest. Let's interact and start that. And then she basically just wants a photo. But before taking the photo, I do actually go down to Toran and finish that up because I'm like, finish up your loose ends. So we talked to Toran and we finished the challenge there. After finishing that challenge, we actually go over to Emma Ball, who she basically wants to match outfits with her blush bunny, and this is like one of those styling kind of competitions, but not something you need to rank high on. It's just one of the ones where you need to find the right clothing, which I do plan to do a guide going through a bunch of those kindled inspiration tasks and hopefully showcasing what items you need and where to get them. But it is going to take a little bit of work, so I do apologise that hasn't gone up immediately. I didn't realise how much work went into these videos for Infinity Nikki. I go for the little gold one that looks like it's got bunny ears. That's the kind of the clip thing that I use. So that's what you need to use to finish this task. But yeah, as I was saying, you have to do, obviously I'm new to these kind of games. I didn't realise how much exploring and research I have to do because I don't want to give out misinformation, and like this game is obviously very new to me. Nikki as a universe in games is very new to me, so I try and make sure that everything I put out is correct, and I have to look things up and discover things for myself. And yeah, so I do apologise that perhaps some of the videos are coming out quite slow. Like even when it came to my photography spots videos, I had to split that up because I hadn't unlocked every area, and I felt bad that I couldn't do it all in one video, but I wanted to get the video up that I had done and didn't want to delay it anymore. But like I said, some of these things take a little bit of time, so I do apologise if I'm not getting the content out quickly enough to you. But we move on to our next task, and with this one we have to talk to Fresnay. She's in the main square near the wishing tree. She's actually near Padra, the shop lady, and basically this is one where you have to spot a dog in the picture. There's actually 3 dogs in the picture and you have to spot the right one. So yeah, she asked for your help in that. Now I was a bit nervous because she asked us to spot and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what she described the dogs as liking. But then there is a hint at the bottom that says, dear, remember Ace loves to hide. So I assumed it had to be the one in the bushes because I was like, this seems like the most hidden. I wasn't too sure because again, I thought it was quite obvious, but again, I think that's kind of good. It makes it very accessible to players to get correct. And then we got our diamond rewards for that, so I was very, very happy with that. And then I was just checking my quest just to see what else we had to do, and all we had to do was the love anniversary one. There is another quest that we do a bit later, but I hadn't triggered it yet, so we do end up doing that eventually, but that will come after this photo opportunity section that we're kind of doing. Where you have to take photos with a few people, so the first one being Alea. And then of course it takes me like half an hour just to line up for a photo shot. Does anyone else kind of struggle a bit with that they're like, okay, I want to take this, I have to take this photo opportunity, but you spend ages trying to make it look good, and you know that it doesn't matter what it looks like, but you just kind of like, oh, I have to make sure my character looks right, I have to make sure, you know, the filters are right, or the lighting is right, or whatever it may be. You know, you kind of like, is the angle right? Do I look appropriate for this setting? And you just spend ages trying to get a photo when I literally could have just like snapped and it would have been fine. It would have been fine. And then yeah, just make sure you've got those orange bars around your characters just to make sure it is going to count. Then I was working on the framing. I wanted a nice backdrop, but I also liked the hanging bird, but I didn't want the bird to be too much in the shot. And then it was like, yeah. So I struggled a bit with this just for getting a shot sorted, and in the end, I don't think it even mattered. I don't think it matters, but I was like, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna get this shot done. I'm gonna get it to look as beautiful as I want it to, and yeah. And then I wanted a close-up shot of the two of them because I just thought it would be a cuter composition, so I do get a close-up shot as well. And then I actually uploaded it as a snapshot. I forgot I did do that, and I felt bad for doing that actually, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm being one of these people that puts the snapshot icon right by a person, so instead of interacting with the person, you always interact with the snapshot thing. I've done that before during my quest when I've been like trying to interact with something, and there'll be a snapshot thing right where you need to interact with something or get something, and then it's like, ah, no. this is in my way. So I became one of those people. I love people leaving hints. I think that's fun, but just it's when it's you know it's going to interfere with someone actually playing the game, and unfortunately I became one of those people. I'm sorry. And then, of course, I had to get the posing right with Toran and Fluffy, because we do have to get a photo with them as well. And I, of course, wanted a cute fit. I wanted it to make it seem like I was pointing out to Toran what to photograph. And maybe Fluffy's looking on as well and wanting, yeah, looking at whatever we're trying to photograph. I put too much thought behind these photos. Tell me if you're the same. Tell me if you're the same. Or are you one of those people that just like snaps and goes, snaps and goes, snaps and goes? You have to let me know. I want to know. Anyway, after snapping the photo, we then have to get a photo with Ilgene and of course ourselves. So you head down to the mayor's residence and you can go snap a photo then with the two of you. Again, I spend far too much time on this, unnecessarily so. And now that you've got the photos, you can go back and talk to Alea, and basically it will kind of wrap up, and then you can actually experience the Companions Day event. You talk to her, you do have to share the photos that you have taken, just so that she can look at them and things like that. So you'll have to pick from, if you took a bunch of photos, you'll have to pick from your selection and showcase them to her. And then we have our lovely little cutscene for the event, which does happen at night. It's very, very cute. I mean, not a lot happens in the scene, but it is still, you know, quite cute. We have a fun little interaction with Momo, some fun little dialogue. I do love the dialogue in this game. I think they do an amazing effort with it, and it's a lot of fun. It definitely is. Anyway, there's the main quest complete. We do also get like a little reward there for your ID card kind of situation. And then we have to do the task where we help take a photo of a kitty and not their owner, but their owner's girlfriend. So you have to run down towards the mayor's residence again, but what you're going to do is you're going to make a right at the mayor's residence, and you'll see Jane and Kitty hanging out under a tree, and you can do the final task then. And then that's all those tasks done. So I do go into the event tab just to double check. And you can see here I do point out, or I show on the screen, that there's a couple of unlocks in 2 days, 4 days for the fix the flicker task. But that's all the event tasks for this day. Very, very fun. I really, really enjoyed it. Of course, after doing this, I had to make sure that I claimed my mail. We do get 500 diamonds as compensation there. We also do get 200 diamonds as compensation for the server maintenance and a resonite crystal, which is always handy to get. And then I just go through and make sure all my kind of announcement and news notifications are gone, clear them out, just make sure I've read them all, just in case there was anything I missed. So I did make sure to go through and double check those. And that was it for the event. So we go and do some pulls on the Croker's Whisper. Now, I don't think I was very, very lucky here. You'll have to let me know what you think. Did I get somewhat lucky? Do you think this was a good pull? I don't know. I feel like it wasn't that great. I wasn't too happy, but it is what it is. This is the luck of the draw sometimes. I mean, the earrings are quite cute, but I was really, really hoping for the jacket. I really was. You'll have to let me know, are you pulling on either of these banners? If so, which ones? And how has your luck been so far? Anyway, this was a rundown of the Companions Day event. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Infinity Nikki video. Anyway, hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys!